This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies, presentations, and retreats form part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. And now I invite you to open your hearts to some Catholic inspiration. Today is Tuesday of the 29th week of the year. Our Gospel reading is Luke chapter 12, verses 35 to 38. Jesus said to his disciples, "Gird your loins and light your lamps, and be like servants who await their master's return from a wedding, ready to open immediately when he comes and knocks. Blessed are those servants whom the master finds vigilant on his arrival. Amen, I say to you, he will gird himself, have them recline at table, and proceed to wait on them. And should he come in the second or third watch and find them prepared in this way, blessed are those servants." It's a great passage. We see these themes, especially in Advent, to be prepared, be ready, be vigilant for the Lord when the Lord knocks on the door of our hearts. We have the example here of servants waiting the return of a master. Well, that's not far off from how we consider ourselves. We're the disciples waiting for the Lord. And you think about times when you've had to wait for something. I think about like when I have tour groups who come to the Cathedral, and I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for their bus to show up. I'm waiting for them to pull into the parking lot. You know, sometimes there's little odds and ends and things I need to do. Sometimes people get, stopped. There might be a train that's going through town, and so they're running a little late. It might be something like people had road construction to deal with, or maybe, just maybe, they lost track of the time. Sometimes they're there early, eager to start their visit or their tour. And then I have to make sure that I'm ready if they come before the appointed time, so they're not waiting and locked outside. Being prepared. Being ready, here specifically, being ready for God. And think about a couple of levels in which this becomes so important. First, inside, in our hearts. My friends, we are ready for the Lord when we're praying every day. See, every day that we take just a little bit of time to pray, to thank the Lord for our blessings, to ask the Lord for what we need, to be mindful of the people that we care about, when we do that every day, when we pause to reflect, to meditate, to let the scriptures speak to us, to pray a rosary, to take some devotional time, or to rest in silence before the tabernacle, whatever it is, when we take time to pray, we are preparing our hearts so that when the Master knocks, we're ready to respond. Now that's on the inside. But out of our prayer, there is a growing awareness on the outside. You see, if we are praying to be ready for when the Lord knocks on our hearts, then we are also ready to have our eyes open to respond when the Lord prompts us to action. Perhaps as easy as seeing somebody in need and being quick to help, to assist, to give a helping hand, a word of encouragement, to step in for a moment when someone is particularly troubled or vulnerable. See, in those cases, we're getting ready to respond to the actions and interactions of daily life. That's on the outside, and as such, that means our lives interact with others, intersect with others, and thus our lives can make a difference with those that the Lord sets before us. Now, whether we're looking on the inside, in the silence of our souls, or on the outside in how we interact with one another, friends, are we ready? Are we ready for when the Lord knocks so that we respond? Now, that kind of response can happen in such unexpected ways, and that's why our daily prayer is so important. Our daily prayer gets the groundwork established. It gets us in that rhythm and routine to listen to the Lord in the quiet of our lives, so that when life is busy and active and going 100 miles an hour, and then suddenly we get the opportunity, we're not going so fast we miss it. Because we always have that element of vigilance. Lord, where are you leading me? Lord, how are you prompting me? Lord, where are you going to invite me to offer the gift of my life. I want you to think for a moment. Just pause, maybe the last day or so. Was there a time when you had a chance, maybe at home with a family member, maybe at work, maybe in the interaction in the community, was there a time when you had a chance to do something that would have been worthy of heaven? Did you have a chance, maybe a little random act of kindness or an opportunity to give an encouraging word and miss it? Is there a moment where you go, oh, I should have said, or oh, I should have done? Okay, that's what you take to prayer. And say, Lord, help me so that doesn't happen again. Lord, help me to be ready to respond when you knock in my life, inside or outside. Lord, help me to be eager, vigilant, and excited to respond when you knock on the door of my heart. Friends, that's a really good prayer because it helps us to constantly be aware of the ways in which our lives can proclaim the good news and how our lives, receptive to the Lord, will inspire us and empower us to serve the Lord by what we say and do. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew, and I hope this podcast inspires your faith. Now, if you found it helpful, please share it with a friend, and you can help me by leaving a rating and a review. I keep all my listeners in my daily prayers, and I ask for your prayers in return. God bless you, my friends.